Hello guys, and welcome back to the Positive Revolution. And in today's video, I want to talk about the power of authenticity in art. It's if you lose your authenticity or your integrity or your truth in your art or persona or even your clothing style, that acts as a barrier to the audience kind of connecting with you, and it negatively affects the strength of your observations. Because if you're doing observations about the world, or you're telling your truth or truth in the world, if the audience can't really connect with you and don't feel authenticity from, or you're not coming across in an authentic way, then it's much harder for them to go with you on those observations, and they lose their strength. Now, the authenticity angle is one of your strongest as a creative, because no matter how much knowledge that you accumulate over a period of time in your art form or how much skills you develop, there's no one else in the world with your mindset, with your experiences, and with your perception on the world. Now, the more you dive into that, the more individual and unique of a performer that you're going to become, and the more people can connect to you. Now, so a personal example of how I did that. So my first show that I had was just, the first few years of comedy, I was just, how much laughter, how many jokes can I squeeze into the time that I have on stage? That was all that I thought about. That's all that I cared about. And people connected to the material. They really found it funny, but they didn't and they couldn't connect to me. Once I started kind of talking about myself, and once I started to put more authenticity and more of myself into my art form, people started to connect to me. And when I started to do observations about the world and about various things, people went along with them more, because the truth and authenticity carries over to that. So when I started putting more authenticity into my work is when it started to improve and people started to connect with me more. Now, the best advice that I've gotten from a comedian, not personally, but just generally, that I've heard is from a comedian called Bill Burr, American comedian. And his advice is to general creatives, especially comedians, is be undeniably great or funny. So don't worry about getting representation or advertising. Focus on producing really good art and improving it to the point of being undeniably great. In regards to comedy, this is a lot of punchlines in the joke, which work and are bomb-proof. But it's like that in most art. The more that you work on the quality and improving the actual art or the actual thing that you've produced, the more likely that it is to become successful just on the merit of the quality itself. So you can't always control meeting a certain person, or you can't always control how critically or certain critics are going to value your work. You can't control the approval of others, but you can control improving your art, improving your show, challenging yourself creatively, and doing things which are new, which challenge yourself and have value. So the more that the things that you do have control of is how you progress with your art, how you improve it, and the challenges that you set yourself. So the more that you ground yourself in improving what you're doing, trying to creatively challenge yourself, and try new different stuff that push you and kind of advance you creatively, the more you ground yourself and your happiness in that instead of the approval of others, the happier your creative pursuit will overall be. And if please let me know what you think in the comments in regards of how you show authenticity and truth in your art, and the importance that places in you. And I will reply in the comments. The Positive Revolution. Thanks, guys.